channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Do me a big favor, guys. Get yourself down in the description box and check out that NVIDIA free stock, free offer down below, right? The good folks at Moo are offering you some basically up to $1,000 in NVIDIA stock if you decide to open a new brokerage account with them and fund it. So make sure you get down there and check out that Moo link. I've been rocking with Moo guys for a couple of years now, and I love their brokerage app. It's self-directed. But certainly you go check it out for yourself and you make your own determination on that. But like I said, they are giving you up to $1,000 in NVIDIA stock if you decide to open up a new Moo brokerage account and make a certain deposit. So go check that out. Also, don't forget about the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. That's the second link down below. Go check that out. That's where my financial community is. And we have a good time over there, just talking about building wealth, man. Long-term wealth, right? That's what we talk about. So if you want to get around, a couple thousand people that are talking about building wealth the right way, which is long-term investing, whether it be through real estate for income, whether it's through paper assets, or whether it's through starting a business, or just working a 9-to-5 job and taking a part of that income from your 9-to-5 job and putting it somewhere to hopefully grow it over time, then come check out the Wealth Builders. Like I said, second link down in the description box. One more disclaimer, guys, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, right? I'm just offering you my opinion here. It's my personal opinion. So please, before you do anything, go out and do your own independent research and come up with your own independent conclusion. And if you feel like, you want to make an investment in something, that's on you. Has nothing to do with me. I'm just giving you my personal opinion here. So please understand that. Now let's talk about this government shutdown. Longest government shutdown in history. And I believe, guys, it's getting ready to come to an end. Right? So for weeks, the GOP, the Republicans have been saying it's the Democrats' fault. It's all the Democrats' fault. The shutdown is the Democrats' fault. And for weeks, the Democrats have been saying, no, it's the Republicans' fault. Now, keep in mind, the Republicans control every branch of government. They control the White House. They control Congress, which is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate. And they control, guess what? The Supreme Court. So they control everything. But about 41, 42, 43 days ago, the government shut down. And the Republicans said, listen, it's these Democrats. They want us to change what they've already agreed to. They've agreed to the big, beautiful bill. And the Democrats are going to say, no, we didn't agree to the big, beautiful bill. You got it passed and approved because you have the majority in Congress. And obviously, you got the White House. So you guys approved that big, beautiful bill. But inside that big, beautiful bill, there was some things that are going to be taken away. And some of the things that'll be taken away are some of these social service programs, or at least money that was geared towards funding those programs. One of those programs is the Affordable Care Act and the subsidies that go with it. So with the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, somebody making a certain income below certain income thresholds can go on to the Affordable Care website, Obamacare website, and they can apply for health insurance. And then what would happen with the Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, they would get a subsidy from the government to go along with their payment. The government comes in with a portion of that payment, and then you pay for your health care insurance monthly. What's happening right now is that particular subsidy is in jeopardy of being taken away. And that's what the Democrats were trying to fight about in this shutdown. They're saying, hey, don't get rid of that health care subsidy, because if you do, 20 million Americans are going to be in a bad spot because their premiums are going to go up. Because if the government is not paying a part of that premium, the insurance companies, you better believe this, are not going to lower that premium. Their premium is going to be their premium. And if the government is not coming in and paying part of that through a subsidy, then that falls on the who? The insured to pay it. You and me to pay it, right? Whoever's on taking advantage of that. So that's what this whole, in my opinion, the whole shutdown was about, right? The Democrats wanted that subsidy, that Obamacare subsidy, to remain intact, and they wanted the Republicans to sort of claw back or peel or not claw back, but pull back part of the big beautiful bill that was going to wipe it out. Okay, so that's what this whole shutdown was about, in my opinion. And like I said, the Democrats held strong for a while, and then the Republicans held strong for a while. But ultimately, the Democrats caved. 8 of the senators, Democratic senators, 8 of them in the Senate caved in and decided to vote for the continuing resolution, which is basically kicking the can down the road. They agreed to go ahead and open back up the government, right? And then revisit this whole thing again, like by January 30th. But they also, well, at least the Republicans told them this. The Republicans told them, listen, we'll give you an opportunity in December to put a bill forward. We'll allow you to go ahead and put a bill forward that can be voted on this Obamacare subsidy stuff. But you got to understand, guys, like I said earlier, the Republicans control Congress. So how in the world, as a Democratic bill that's being put on the floor of the Senate, House of Representatives, how does that get passed when you don't control the majority? The majority is controlled by the Republicans, who are not going to approve that. So you got a lot of people on the Democratic side right now that are upset with these 8 senators who caved in. And a lot of these senators who caved in, 4 or 5 of them just a week or 2 ago said they would never cave in. And then they finally caved in. So, for me, I'm thinking, what did they get in return for this? A promise that they could put a bill on the floor that could be voted on? In all likelihood, since they don't control the majority, the Republicans do, they're gonna vote it down. What does that mean for the American people? Well, you got 20 million people that could be in jeopardy of losing their health insurance. Now, again, guys, I'm no expert here. I'm just giving you my little cliff notes and just giving you my little opinion of what I've read. I'm no expert, but go do your own research. But that was the whole thing with this government shutdown. And let me tell you how, in my opinion, the Republicans outflanked the Democrats again. See, the Republicans, they're going to win at all costs. These Democrats over here, they start getting a little soft. These Republicans, they don't get soft. And you know who their leader is. You know he don't get soft. So these Republicans don't bend. So guess what they did? They sent the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Every single day this thing been shut down, every morning he gave a press conference blaming the Democrats. Every single morning, guys. I'm talking about like clockwork. Every single morning. This guy got on national TV and blamed the Democrats. And he said, from day one to right now, today, he has said every day that they're not going to give the Democrats one thing. And guess what happened? They didn't give them one thing. They didn't give them one thing. Now, I get it. Some of y'all might be saying, well, hey, man, the Democrats, they wanted people to get their SNAP benefits. They wanted people. Listen, guys, I'm not arguing that. I'm just telling you, sometimes if you want change, it's uncomfortable. People got to get uncomfortable if you want change. You got to understand who you're dealing with over here with the Republicans, man, and their leader. You're not dealing with people that you're not dealing with people like you and me that have been on hard times and, you know, maybe lived paycheck to paycheck, maybe went a period of our lives without insurance. See, that's not who you're dealing with over here. You're dealing with 1%ers basically over here. Now, I'm not saying these people over here on the Democratic side, a bunch of them are 1%ers too. Probably them 8 senators who caved in, they're 1%ers. I guarantee you their families ain't gonna have to go without health care insurance. They're not. I guarantee you they ain't gotta worry about where their next meal is coming from. They don't have to worry about that. Those 8 senators on the Democratic side don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. They don't have to worry about health care premiums. Why? Because the federal government pays for it. They got the top of the line insurance. You and me pay for it. Taxpayers pay for it. We pay for it. So they got top of the line insurance. They ain't got to worry about it. And I heard some of these 8 senators on the Democratic side that folded one guy came in and said, yeah, I guess I'm the pitch hitter or something like that. He said, I'm the cleanup hitter. I'm like, why would you be making a joke like that when you got 20 million people that could possibly be losing their health insurance because they can't afford the premium? You coming in joking about you're the cleanup hitter. I'm the cleanup hitter. I'm like, what is this stuff? But see, these people, guys, who we've put in these offices, they're detached from reality. They live in the boom economy. See, we down here in the bust economy, but they're in the boom economy. These people ain't got to worry about where their next meal is coming from. They don't have to worry about insurance premiums because we pay for it. See, these senators and these House of Representative people, the people in the White House, we foot the bill, guys, for all of their medical expenses. We foot the bill for their paychecks. But of course, a lot of these people are 1%ers. They were already rich before they got in office. Or they've gotten rich since they've been in office. So they're detached from you and me. Completely detached. Now, I don't have a dog in the fight because I'm not, I don't even get into these Democrat, Republican, all that stuff. Because I know who run this country. It's the 1%. And the 1% exists on both the Democratic and the Republican side. They do. See, the 1% run this country. That's why this government shutdown with this happening over the last, 40-something days, guess who ultimately stepped in? The 1% stepped in. Because the 1% said, listen, we're ready to have our Christmas rally. Now, this is just my opinion, guys. I'm not telling you to believe this. Go out and do your own homework. I'm not trying to be some financial advisor or try to tell you. I'm just giving you my personal opinion on my YouTube channel. You got to go out and do your own homework now. Please do that. But my personal opinion is the way this shutdown ended was you had the 1%ers step in, and the 1%ers went over there to these Democrats and said, listen, here's the deal. Y'all solve this thing because we got to get this Christmas rally going, and we're getting our days are starting to count down. We're already at November 10th. We need this Christmas run. We need this Christmas rally. So guess what happened? The powers that be went to the Democratic side of the Senate and said, listen, some of y'all gonna capitulate. Some of y'all will bend the knee. And they picked the ones that they wanted to bend the knee. And these 8 that bent the knee are the ones who got the short end of the straw or the stick. And they had to bend the knee. Just like Mike Johnson on the Republican side. See, you got to understand, the 1%, they're going to flip-flop. Anytime the Republicans are in office and they control everything, Republicans control everything. So guess what the 1% going to do? They're going to lean over there to the Republicans because they control everything. And see, you got to understand who the 1% is. It's these gigantic corporations. It's these billionaires. See, you got to understand about billionaires, guys. These billionaires are going to go to whichever side benefits them. Right now, it's the Republicans. They benefit the 1%. They benefit the billionaires. They benefit the mega cap corporations and the hyperscalers and all of these gigantic companies. Right now, Republicans benefit them, so they're going to lean to the side of the Republicans. That's why every time you see something jump off at the White House, you got all these mega cap CEOs and these hyperscaler CEOs and these gigantic companies CEOs at the White House, laughing it up, having a good time. They're going to bend that way. So they went to the Democrats and said, listen, either you bend the knee, capitulate, or give them what they want, or there's a price to pay. You do understand who elect these people. It's the 1%. It's their money, right? It's their money. And see the Democrats already know they couldn't win this fight because you got Mike Johnson, you got 47 every single day hammering them. I'm talking about hammering them every day, saying it's their fault, their fault. Now, some people might say, well, Richard, American people don't believe that because remember, they had those elections last week. You had Prop 50 in California. You had, the governor's race in New Jersey. You had the governor's race in Virginia. You had blah, 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 blah. That's fine. But again, that's not 2026 election, though. That's just a small little snippet. And are Americans fed up? Yes, I do believe they're fed up. But guess what? We're not fed up yet, because if we were fed up enough, we'd take action. We're not that fed up, because you still got these 8 senators over here who capitulated. Now, they belong to someone's state. Somebody elected those 8. And those 8 said that they were going to put their constituents first. And clearly they didn't. But there's a reason they didn't. They don't fear anything. Now, most of these 8 that capitulated probably won't be up for re-election in 2026. They probably won't be up for re-election until like 2030. So they're thinking, we ain't worried about it. Yeah, we'll capitulate. They gave them something. I don't know what they gave them, but they gave them something. But they also knew they didn't have to fear of being kicked out of their Senate seat next year because they're not up for re-election next year. Most of those 8 are going to be retiring, or they're not up. Their term isn't up until like 2030. So that's who the GOP went after. They went after people that are going to be retiring probably this year or before the 26 midterms. They're going to be retiring, or their term is way out there, like 2030. That's who they went after. What did the Democrats get for reopening the government? 0. They got nothing. And Mike Johnson said they wasn't going to get nothing from day one. Mike Johnson said, no, they ain't getting nothing. We already passed this. They're not getting nothing. We're not giving them nothing. And guess what? They got nothing. Oh, yeah, we did. We got the promise of we can put a bill on the floor in December. Who cares? You don't got the votes to approve it. So who really cares? Nobody. You can't get that approved. You don't control the House, nor do you control the Senate. And when push comes to shove, especially if 47 get involved, ain't none of those senators, especially none of the people in the House of Representatives, because you got Mike Johnson there. And whether you like that guy or not, Mike Johnson, let me tell you something. Trump picked a good one. I got to give it to him, man. Y'all, hey, listen, I ain't got a dog in the fight. I'm just giving you my opinion. When you look at what 47 has done, the people that he's put in place to protect him, to shield him, to do his bidding, probably the best in history, man. I'm telling you, you listen to these people that President Trump got in place. These people are 1,000% Trump people. They ain't wavering. They ain't buckling. They don't care about what might happen to them in the future. They don't care. All of them. Gotta tip your hat to the guy. He did what he needed to do in order to absolutely funnel power just into him. And he has. And he has some lieutenants, like Mike Johnson is one of his main lieutenants. That guy runs the House of Representatives. He's third in line, guys, to be president. If something happened to 47, if something happened to J.D. Vance, then Mike Johnson is third in line. He'd be president. Now, of course, I'm not saying anything will happen to anybody. I'm just telling you that's the succession plan if something catastrophic happened. Mike Johnson would be in line. He's third one. Third most powerful man in the world. And that guy ain't, listen, you can say what you want to say about him. And again, I'm not saying I'm for him or against him. I'm just telling you the guy is smart, man. And the guy is steadfast. He's smart and he's steadfast. So Trump got a team that just is outflanking the Democrats. You got Democrats out here, they'll get all riled up for a couple of weeks and then they cave in. So a lot of people thinking 26, we're going to take over. Well, you better get a plan. Because I'm going to tell you something. I can tell you right now, you ain't seen nothing when it comes to what the Republicans are going to do when we roll into 26 and it's getting ready for those midterms. They're going to turn that thing up to 25. Right now, it's on 10. They're going to turn it all the way up to 25. And if the Democrats ain't ready, you know what next. So how do I believe this reopening of the government will help the markets? Now, again, my personal opinion, this is not financial advice. Please go out and do your own independent research before you make any investments. This is my personal opinion on my personal YouTube channel. So please just take it for that. Doesn't mean it's right. I believe this is a positive catalyst to take stocks higher because I think the 1% mandated it. They orchestrated this whole thing. And I believe it will be a catalyst to push stocks higher. I just think that's what will happen. Headline says stocks rise as plan to end shutdown starts moving through Congress. Positive catalyst. Stocks are going to go higher. Christmas rally. That's my opinion now. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. But this is laying the foundation for that, in my opinion, guys. So a guy like me says, how do I take advantage of this? Now, I can sit over here and be emotional and get all political and be emotional and and spend my whole day crying about why the Democrats folded and capitulated and bent the knee, which I knew they were going to do in the beginning anyways. I knew they were going to do that. That's just my opinion. I can sit over here and cry about that, or I can get over here and turn the logical part of my brain on and say, well, how do I take advantage of this? Because this thing's finna run. How do I take advantage of this potential run that might be happening? See, that's how I think. I don't worry about that because I understand these folks control everything. The Republicans control everything. There ain't much the Democrats can do, man. But, you know, get out here on social media and whine. That's about all they can do, but they can't control nothing. You can't even get your own elected officials to stay and hold it. You can't even get your own elected officials to stand 10 toes down. They won't even stand 10 toes down for you, their constituents. Now, again, it's above my pay grade, but this is what I believe. Listen, if you know 20 million people are going to be affected by this, why would you cave in? And a lot of those people that are going to be affected are in your state. Why would you not? See what I'm saying? And the Republicans knew that. That's why Mike Johnson every day was hammering this thing, hammering every single day, because he knew they'd cave. They had to cave because the 1% mandated it. So now the 1% says, okay, get this go. Now check this one out now. Check this one out. This is what you got to think about. 40-something days ago, when this thing started, the market was still doing great for about the first 2 weeks of the shutdown. Market was still pushing higher. First couple of weeks. Then all of a sudden, guess what the market started doing? Nosediving. You started seeing reports that, oh, investors are starting to be concerned about the shutdown. Oh my goodness. See, that's the propaganda, right? That's the driving everything down, because at that point, and this is my personal opinion, guys. That doesn't mean it's true. I'm giving you my personal opinion. Please go out and do your own homework. But here's my personal opinion. At the peak of this thing a couple weeks ago, the 1% were already fat, but they want more. That's how 1%ers are, guys. They're never satisfied. One plane is never enough. They need 5 of them. One house is never enough. They need 5 of them. And it's the same with power. A little bit of power ain't good enough. They want absolute power over their subjects. Who are their subjects? Us, the 99% of the subjects. We're the subjects. We're the people that they just move around wherever they want to move us. We're the subjects. No different than in ancient Rome when the emperors or the Caesars or the Senate wanted to control the people. Guess what they did? They gave the people something. They gave them what? The gladiator games, because they knew that would occupy them. They knew that would satisfy them. In modern day, they do us the same way. Just like the ancient, like they did in ancient Rome with the Roman people, the emperors and the Caesars. Now our elected officials do us the same way. They move us around. They appease us. They give us a little something here. Now these guys are going to come on TV and say, government open again. Guess what, guys? We're going to give you the SNAP benefits. We're going to give you this. We always was going to give you this. It was the Democrats' fault. And then the Democrats going to get on there and say, no, they're not going to give you your SNAP benefits fully. They're going to take away the Obamacare subsidies. It's their fault. And guess who gets trapped in all of this? You and me. The only way you get out of the trap is you got to build yourself some wealth. That's my opinion now. You do whatever you want to do. You ain't got to build wealth. You can stay right where you're at. But the only way you get yourself out of that never-ending hamster wheel, that rat race that these 1%ers got us in, is you got to build yourself some wealth. And you got to turn off the emotional side of your brain and turn on the logical side of your brain to make sense of all this. Because if you live in a state of emotion all the time, you'll always be worried about the wrong things when you're in a state of emotion all the time. You'll never worry about the things that really benefit you and your family. What you'll worry about are the things that benefit others. And you'll fight others' battles that you can't win. You can't win, guys, against the 1% in these battles that we try to fight with them. You can't win. What you got to do is figure out, how do I shift the focus from being so emotional all the time to thinking logical and figuring out how I take advantage of this opportunity. Everybody's not going to win, guys, and that's the truth, but that's the real world we live in. Everybody is not going to have a soft landing. Some people are going to have a hard landing. And you better figure out which type of landing you want. Do you want a hard landing or do you want a soft landing? That's up to you. Turn off that emotional side of your brain and try to start working in that logical side of your brain and figure out how to build yourself some wealth, because I'm telling you, somebody is going to get wealthy with this government shutdown and then the subsequent opening of the government. Somebody got rich when it shut down, and I'm saying it's the 1% because they bought the dip. They bought the dip. You do know what's been happening these last 2 weeks in the stock market. It's been dipping. Dipsy daisy. And guess who's been buying? Good old 1%. And guess what they're getting ready to do now when this government open back up? They're finna run this thing back up. Again, all my personal opinion. I'm not an analyst. I don't know nothing about nothing other than my personal opinion. Go out and do your own homework. Go out and do your own research. But my personal opinion, they artificially created this. They manufactured a crash. They manufactured it out of thin air. Poof. They just hocus pocus, poof. And then boom, crash. Listen. They manufactured this whole thing. And now they're getting ready to manufacture the rally. Government's reopening. Everything back to normal. That's what they're getting ready to do. The question is, which side of this thing you going to be on? You going to be on the emotional side or you going to be on the logical side? The only way you save yourself is you got to have yourself some wealth. You got to have some assets that build wealth. So consider that, guys. Like I said, get down in the description box. Check out that Moo offer, which is up to basic some free NVIDIA stock if you decide to sign up for their new their brokerage app. It's a self-directed brokerage app. Go check that. That's the first link down below. Also, check out the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon, where we get into these types of conversations, guys, in our community. We get into these types of conversations. That's why I'm giving out the real game. We get into these types of conversations, right? So if you want to be a part of a couple thousand people having this type of conversation about how do I turn off the emotional side of my brain and I can turn on that logical side of my brain and figure out how I can build myself some wealth and protect me and my family, because ain't nobody else gonna protect you. You do understand that, right? There's no government. There's no the Republicans gonna protect me. Democrats gonna protect. None of them gonna protect you, man. I keep telling y'all this. None of those folks are gonna protect you. None of those folks are gonna knock on your door and come to your house and sit down and have a conversation with you and say, hey, Richard, how can I help you with your health insurance? What can I do for you? Hey, Richard, how can I help you put food in your mouth and your family's mouth? How can I help you pay for your housing? How can I help you build wealth? You do know they never talk about how we can get Americans and people that live in America to build wealth. You never hear any of them talking about prosperity from a wealth standpoint. They always want us focused on them giving us something. Oh, we're going to give you this. We're going to give. They never say, well, hey, let us help empower you to build real wealth. Never. Never do they have that conversation with us. Why? They don't want you to build wealth. They want you to be dependent on them. They want you thinking you own everything, but you own nothing. They want you to think that you have everything, but you have nothing. Please wake up, America. These people don't have no clue what you go through on a daily basis. They are wealthy. Listen, man, these people in Congress, their insurance plans are paid for by you and me. They got the Cadillac policies. While you and I down here in a beat up 30-year-old Hyundai policy. They got the brand new 2025 tricked out $175,000 electric Escalade policy with all the gadgets in it. That's what they get. What do you get? You get that analog 30-year-old beat up piece of whatever you're driving. That's what we get. And the insurance companies charge us a premium for that. But yet and still, we get online and fight battles for these people, when you should be fighting a battle for you and your family, a financial battle. The only way you change anything in your life, you better have some assets, guys. Without those assets, you're stuck like Chuck. If you don't have assets that generate income for you, if you don't have assets so that you don't have, so that you can pay for your insurance, that you can pay for your housing, that you can pay for your transportation, that you can pay for your child's education, ain't no government. This government is not giving it to you. And I'm not anti-government. I'm pro-America. I vote just like you vote. But the difference is I don't put all of my cards in that person's hands. I vote and do my civic duty, and I cross my fingers and hope they do what they say they're going to do. But I don't sit around and complain if they don't, because I know who controls them. So I take it in my own hands to do what I need to do to build my wealth, to protect me and my family financially. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Check out the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. Second link, come check us out. If you don't like us, dip, but come check us out. Second link down below. Appreciate y'all for checking me out today, man. I'll catch y'all a little later on today with some more content, but I just wanted to give y'all a little update on on the shutdown, getting ready to reopen the government. 1% had to step in. And I think they did that because they want the Christmas rally. They want to get even wealthier. Whether we participate or not is certainly up to us. But I can tell you right now, I'm participating. So I'll check y'all out a little later on. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. Consider in your mind, hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.